this lesson, you're going to learn about the area of a trapezoid. Now, the trapezoid is just a quadrilateral, four-sided figure with only one pair of opposite sides that are parallel. Well, what does that mean? Let's draw a picture of this. It's going to have four sides, but two of our sides are going to be parallel. So this side and that side, they're parallel to each other, but because they're not the same length, the other two sides will not be parallel. That's what trapezoid is. Now, those two sides are going to be perpendicular to what the height is going to be. So always look for that little perpendicular sign for the height of a trapezoid. Well, to get the formula, let's start with something you already know, rectangle. Rectangle's just area equals base times height. A equals B times H. So we got a height, we have a base. The area of that's just going to be base times height. Very simple. But what if that base is longer than its opposite side? Well, now we have a trapezoid. So we think of it as two bases, base 1 and base 2. We're going to call them base sub 1 and base sub 2. So the area of a trapezoid, we're going to take the average of those bases and multiply that times the height. Base sub 1 plus base sub 2, divide that by 2. That's the average times the height. Let's go ahead and use this formula. Base 1, we measure that, that's 8 units long. We're going to add that to the other base, count that out, that's going to be 12 units long. Find their average and multiply it times the height, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, what's in between 8 and 12? That's 10. We know the average of 8 and 12 is 10. That's pretty simple, but let's go ahead and use our formula. 8 plus 12 is 20, divided by 2. That's going to give us that 10. So you can think, what's in the middle, or add them together, divide by 2. Total area is 50. That's how many squares are in there. So here's our formula. A equals B sub 1 plus B sub 2 divided by 2 times H. What if they don't give you one of the bases? What if they give you the area, but they don't give you one of the bases? Well, you use the formula and solve. Instead of area, write the 40. And write B sub 1 for something you don't know, plus B sub 2 is 10, divided by 2 times H, they give you 5. So to get rid of the 5, that's what we're going to do first. Work from the outside in. We divide to get rid of that 5 on both sides of our equation. This will give us 8, and that goes away. Now you write B sub 1. It's just a variable. Divide that by 2. So to get rid of this 2, we do the opposite again. We multiply to get rid of denominators. Multiply both sides by 2. It magically disappears. You have 16. And you can just write B. You don't really need to write B sub 1. But B plus 10 minus 10 is going to give you that B, that base. And there's your answer. Well, let's make sure that's our answer. Let's just plug it in really quickly just to make sure we're okay. Let's rewrite our formula. Is this going to equal 40? 6 plus the 10 divided by 2 times 5. Is that going to equal our 40? Well, let's go ahead and work on the inside out. Parentheses first, 16 divided by 2 is 8. Multiply that times 5, that's 40. Good. 6 does work. That's our answer. So what if they don't give you the height, but they give you everything else? Well, again, all we're going to do is we're going to plug everything into that formula. Instead of area, write 45. And you plug everything else in. 8 plus the 10, divide that by 2, but you don't know H, so you just write an H for things you don't know. Well, this one's relatively simple. You simplify the right side first. Go ahead and do 8 plus 10, 18. Divide that by 2, and that gives you 9. That makes it much simpler. All you have to do now is divide both sides by the 9, and you're going to get 5. Well, let's plug that back in just to make sure that we have the right answer. This doesn't take long. All you have to do is just plug it in. 8 plus 10 divided by 2, divide that by 5. Is that going to give us 45? Well, PEMDAS, we have to do parentheses first. Do the top. 8 plus 10 is 18. Divide that by 2, we get 9. 9 times 5, 45. Yes, that's going to give us the right answer. So remember, with trapezoids, you're just going to find the average of bases times the height. What's the middle between those two bases times height. And when you're finding a missing variable, just plug it into the formula and solve for the variable.